righty. Good evening, all. Welcome to the Resilient Living Podcast. I am Jared Wilson, joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody.
All righty. Well, while we wait for people to meander on in, I'm imagining that everybody's out enjoying this beautiful summer evening because that's exactly what my family's out there doing. And I know that's what your family is out there doing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of yelling in the background, having fun playing on trees until it gets a little too dark.
But I mean, like, honestly, like, what a perfect childhood, right?
Yeah.
It's like my daughter's out playing on the trampoline. My son's out riding his bicycle in the driveway. Like, this is great. Like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, this is what spring is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. All right. So while people are meandering in, one of the products that I sell in my shop that I wholeheartedly endorse, or where we go? There we are. Essie knives. So this is a product from Randall Adventures. And if you're not familiar with them, they do some fantastic bushcrafting classes. They make great knives. And one of the things that one of the reasons I promote this knife specifically is, yes, it is more expensive than your Kershaw. It's not a Kershaw. It's not a SOG. It's not, these other knives. This thing has a true lifetime warranty. This is you can hand it down to your kids kind of a knife. And it is, straight up 1095 steel. If you can manage to, to get through that thing and mess up that blade, they'll just replace it. And they're fantastic. So this is definitely one of those products that it is worth it. If you think about it as an investment, it's not not necessarily an impulse buy kind of a thing. It's like, hey, I want to have something good. I want to be able to hand it down to my kids. So I'm going to save up for, maybe you end up saving up for a while, come in and put it on layaway or something. It is a worthwhile investment.
Very cool. I love that because obviously that's what we're talking about tonight,
Yeah.
right? Things that are that last, things that carry on from one generation to the next. So, and whether that's, like a knife like that or building something with your kids,
right.
Because a lot of people like build a knife and like grandfather, grandson, or whatever. And like, how invaluable is that to have something that you can say, this was my, great grandfather's, and, we've kept it in the family because he saved up to actually buy it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny when you posted the subject that you wanted to do, I was laughing because so Will, he's been on the show a couple of times.
Yeah, Will Copeland.
Will Cope. Yeah, he was in my shop yesterday and then again today, and we were talking about almost this exact topic of, because he's been blessed that his family owns like this 200-acre plot. And he's got his little corner of it, and he's like, I can look and I can see everyone in my family. Like, that's where my aunt lives, that's where my dad lives, that's where my, they're all there. And
what a cool thing.
Right, exactly. And that was what we were talking about. He's like, I have what most people, I think, in this generation, especially, our generation, have discovered, that what we were sold as the American dream, it's bondage. It's servitude. And what we're talking about tonight, and what we talk about a lot, is where that true freedom is. It's where that true life and living. It's like, I'm not going to burn up my time, because that's really what we're trading. We're trading time. I'm not burning up my time at a 9 to 5 just so that I can have like an hour in the morning and a couple hours in the evening with my kids. It's not worth it to me.
No. One, think about it from the perspective of, I think it's one of the greatest lies we've been sold, not just what we think of necessarily as the American dream, but this idea of, you should leave home at 18.
Oh yeah. Right.
And go get your own place. And, don't live with your parents, don't live with in-laws, don't consider that, because that's, that's failure to launch, or that's whatever.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Right.
And it's not that you can't do that, but how much power are we giving the bankers and the politicians and everybody else by going, by having a separate house payment, a separate car payment, a separate, everything is separate, and
Yep.
we're all, spinning our wheels as fast and hard as we can, um, basically making tons of money for other people on the interest on the things that we're purchasing on credit because we want to have independence, I guess.
Right. The irony of that.
So,
We give up
and
the thing that we're actually striving to gain.
yeah, yeah, because the independence is, I mean, we're creating dependence now on a system, a nameless, faceless system that's essentially leeching your life force.
Yeah, it doesn't care about you. It just it cares enough about you to turn you into a double A battery, a la the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. And before we get too far into this, I want people to know that we would love to have your comments,
Yes, yes,
your
absolutely.
questions. What's your situation? Do you live with in-laws? Can you get along with them? Is it possible? Um, or,
It is
do you have a shared
hard to
property?
to come from that culture
Mhm.
and jump back into that because, we weren't necessarily raised with I know some people, especially in this area, were raised like Will, physically, within 1,000 feet of where he was born, right?
Right.
But, back in California, I didn't have that. I didn't know anyone who had that. I thought it was cool that I was 3rd generation living in paradise.
Mhm.
Um we all still physically lived within, a couple 4 miles or so of each other, which is pretty darn close. Um, it's nothing like out here though. I mean, when they literally grow up on the same land, and they grow up with each other, it's hard to wrap my head around, going to the multi-generational type of I understand it. It makes good sense. Um, but it is definitely something that would be difficult to get going on.
Yeah, well, I think we've been sowed so much discontentment
Yeah.
and division intentionally that, if you keep people divided, you can make more money on them. If you
Right.
keep people discontent, you can sell more stuff to them.
Yeah.
Which is, why I love working with you because you're always, um, you won't do that. You won't, if somebody comes in with their credit card and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to max this out on
You ain't.
survival food, you're
I
not
hear
going to
you
do
not.
it. Right. Because you care. Um,
Yeah.
but that's just not, generally speaking, the society we live in.
No.
Um, so, kind of the thought that I wanted to tease apart here is
Yeah.
seventh generational thinking.
Okay.
So as you and I are raising our kids, as we're husbands and dads and sons to others, um, it's easy to get stuck in the here and now. Do I have enough money to pay for this thing? Can I buy this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Can I provide my kids all the, extracurricular classes or whatever? And it's so easy to get lost in the kind of myopic here and now that we tend to totally miss what the blessing of keeping things simple
Yeah.
and the blessing of being able to have this 3-pound computer between our ears
Right.
that can look forward in time, and plan out in time, and not perfectly, but we can at least consider what my decision right now means.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that can mean, as simple as, okay, what are the actual ramifications of me stopping and buying a Snickers right now? Right.
Right.
It's $3. Who cares?
Short
Right.
term, long term. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But it's bad for my body. If I keep doing this, then, I'm not going to be here as long for my kids potentially,
I'm
or my
supporting
wife,
a
or
company that hates me and wants
yeah,
me to be ill.
yeah, right. My brain might not work as well as I want it to, and people rely on me to give them good information. You
Right.
know, how many ways am I actually hamstringing myself in little tiny ways, little grains of sand that are being put in my backpack?
Yeah.
Um,
Death by a thousand cuts.
yep, exactly. So I wanted to kind of approach that, and
Yeah.
I think the kind of overall or overarching idea of seventh generational thinking is a little bit on the new age side, and we
Sure.
always like to take that redemptive path,
That's right.
moving towards a biblical worldview. And so I plan to rely a little heavier on that today. And but I think it's a really good framework that has a lot of truth to it that
Mm.
we can work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and the biblical side of this is, I think it's the subtitle today, which is that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Right.
And when you look at the original Hebrew there, that's Proverbs 13:22. It's really not just talking about your grandchildren, it's meaning like those who come
Generations. Yeah.
after.
After.
Yeah.
Yeah. Descendants.
Hmm. And we know that scripture also says that God will bless um, to the thousandth generation of those
Right.
who love and serve him. And so there's a blessing in recognizing what what comes generationally and what we're handing off.
Hmm. Yes. And being intentional about it. Absolutely.
Yep. The other thing I would say is looking at it from both ways, because I think as a dad, I always think about, my kids standing on my shoulders and
Yes.
me being that for them and making
Yeah.
sure that I do a little bit better than my parents who gave me the opportunity to do a little bit better than them because I'm standing on their shoulders.
Right.
Um, but Jesus said a lot of really important things about children.
Yeah.
And one of them was Matthew 21:16, where he said, "From the lips of children and infants,
Mhm.
you've ordained praise." Um,
Mouths of babes. Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's just beautiful how the Holy Spirit works on children and how they just don't have that filter. Right?
Well, they don't have all the baggage that we have going through our heads. They can just be. They
Right.
can just be. Um,
Yeah. And so there's so much I think we can learn from our children too. They'll they'll call you out on your BS
that too. Yeah. No
if you're
kidding.
willing to listen.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's real easy to get your pride up in the dander on that one.
Yeah.
well, I'm the dad.
Right.
Shut up.
Yep. That's like there's things we're tasked with protecting them from and guarding them from, but at the same time, there's wisdom isn't always about how much you know.
No.
And so God can speak wisdom through children, and we should be listening as well.
Absolutely.
So, Jared, what are some of the ways that, what are some of the things that we could inherit or give? I don't know. How do you say that? Inherit to? How do
Oh
you?
yeah, you can receive an inheritance. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So what do we get to give and or receive from our previous generations and give on to our next generations?
Yeah.
I mean, so what we're talking about here, that wisdom, that's a fantastic one to start with. I can't tell you how many times I sat down with my grandma, especially my grandma Wilson, and and she would have little sayings, little quips, little things that were just so poignant and so refined. It was just like, and they they still pop up in my head every once in a while to this day because it's like, oh yeah, oh man, that really was much deeper than what I took it for when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Um, it's a great thing, or sitting around with my grandpa, explaining internal combustion engines and how to diagnose a Corvair because then you get diagnosed a lot. That was a lot of wisdom that was imparted to me, where my dad sitting there teaching, working with me on electricity and understanding how things work. Um, there's a lot of stuff that like you said, that there's book knowledge, but then there's like the actual rubber meets the road, practical, like this is how the world actually works.
Hmm.
Super
Yeah.
important.
I'd say wisdom definitely it's kind of hard to define
Yeah.
because it's not, knowledge only gets you so far.
Yeah.
Wisdom seems to be some combination of the application and the knowledge, but
Yeah.
also
There's like,
something
yeah,
more.
yeah, exactly. I say like that. That's where I'd say like that's in intelligence maybe where you have some experience along with the knowledge. Then but then there's that extra little whatever that magic fairy dust is that brings wisdom because there's some things that maybe they don't even make sense,
Hmm.
but they're truly wise. Like
Yeah.
it's a truth beyond the visual. It's something that's and I'm not sure what that special something is, but you definitely hear it sometimes in a saying, or you'll meet a person who's like, they're just wise. They just get life. They understand, and there's some internal consistencies about them that's just it's different.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things about it is oftentimes it defies kind of like modern tropes,
Right?
right? Like it's maybe uncomfortable to us,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
like um I don't know, I'll just throw one out there like um marriage and from a biblical standpoint.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable in some sense to think about what a traditional biblical marriage looks like because culture doesn't like it.
Right. Right.
And it also conflates um like I don't know, some form of gender roles or traditional
Mhm.
roles with like the patriarchy or men being oppressive or whatever. And I'm sure you could use it that way if you want to.
Guys
Um,
have used it that way. I mean, like,
right.
there's a reason it's like that cliche is because dudes can be real jerks, and
Mhm.
yeah. But one thing is not intrinsic to the other.
Yeah.
You can
Well, because
have a traditional marriage, you can have traditional, roles and not be a jerk.
correct.
Like,
Yes.
duh.
But like how uncomfortable, like we have to hedge all of this as we speak as
I know,
guys,
right?
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 Because we're like, we've got this cultural moray of, oh, you're just, you just want to control your wife or
Right.
whatever it might be. And my point is not to get in the weeds on that, but that there's uncomfortable things that wisdom recognizes as truth,
Yeah.
even if culture doesn't recognize it as truth.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So one of the things that can be inherited or blessed to the next generation that I had written down was like land,
Yeah.
water, um, things to because there is a Wendell Berry quote. I love a lot of his quotes, not everyone, but there's some that are really good.
Sure.
And there's one pertaining to this that I thought was, the concept of land and
Mhm.
generations that I thought was really good. I'll see if I can actually read it out loud here. He said, "The world is not given by our fathers, but borrowed from our children. A man who knows that undertakes to cherish it and do it no damage because he loves his children."
Mhm. I
Um,
can't add to that. I mean, honestly,
I
like,
know.
it reorients our priorities. So it was a pastor. He was talking about how we take care of our own bodies, and he made an interesting twist in my brain. He's like, if what you did to your body physically, were to impact your wife, so what you ate is the nutrients she had. Your exercise became her fitness. How would you live your life? And it was like, "Oh, oh, oh." I'm like, he's like, "You need to take care of yourself." Well, and that goes down the generations.
Mhm.
It's our job not to build up our little houses for ourselves, but for our kids and our kids' kids, to build a world that is sustainable, to build up a way of going about life that isn't detrimental to us and the world around us.
Yeah.
And our land is a huge, huge, huge part of it. And the water, oh my gosh, like, yeah, take care of the water. Don't don't poison it. Flint,
Right.
Michigan. Like, Van
Well,
Buren.
we think so much. I mean, land is kind of in one sense, a lot of people don't think of it because we're so apt to, move from one subdivision to another
Yes,
and, upgrade our house or whatever. We get a starter house and then we
right.
upgrade our house and then we, get a
We've lost
retirement
that
house.
tie to the land, to the ground.
Yeah. Because nobody thinks of living in the place more than 4 or 5 years. Um, there's I remember working at Walmart as a teenager, and one of the things I noticed that Walmart did as a culture was they would swap out their managers every 2 to 3 years. So the
Oh.
the top manager at the store would be swapped out. It was their way of keeping things fresh, essentially. Like,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
no stagnation. If somebody did a bad job, they it would be evident because it would follow them store to store,
Yeah.
etc.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Problem is that they wouldn't invest in certain things because they knew they'd only be there for so long.
Right. Sure.
And I believe that's why anytime you walk into a Walmart, like 2/3 of the carts won't go straight.
Yeah. Because that's
Is
the next
because
guy's problem. It's not my
yeah,
problem.
because they've got a culture of, 3 years max for that
Right.
head person. And then you move on, you go to a different state, a different store, and there's no pride um in long-term investments.
Right.
It's what does the store like look like right now? Is it following the latest trends or whatever?
Yeah. Sure.
So that was my, something I observed as a young person is
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a long-term investment in something, you're not going to care about it. And that's very true when it comes to land, when it comes to water.
Yeah.
Um, and when we're thinking my kids are going to get this, now I'm thinking, how does that water flow across the property? How does it filter?
Right.
How am I building the aquifer under this property? How am I
Yeah.
increasing the soil, everything,
Yeah.
the soil life? If they go out barefoot, are they going to be healthier for it?
Hmm. Yeah. Right. I think I have
So
a metal stick stuck in there. We got to take care of it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's a really great point too, because my property, when I bought it, you could only access about a third of it. The rest was just so overgrown you couldn't even walk through.
Sure.
Um, Now you can get everywhere. It's looking nicer and nicer. I think you've
Yeah.
seen it
Yeah.
relatively recently.
Yeah.
But one of the other things was what people would do is they'd let the brush grow out so far, and then they'd throw trash bags in it.
Oh, yeah. Right. Out of
And so
sight, out of mind.
yep, out of sight, out of mind. And once that piled up enough, they'd let the brush grow a little closer to the house.
Sure.
So that was like 3 years of just cleaning up old AOL
Yeah.
CDs and,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
underwear and whatever else somebody threw
Yeah.
away, right?
Sure.
It was gross. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is on the very far side of my property, there's this beautiful little spring
Yeah.
and it's kind of washed away and there's rock there and things. And somebody at some point decided that's where they should throw all their bottles, all the glass
Oh.
bottles. And so there's like 150 years worth of glass bottles and glass broken down there.
Oh my.
And so we've been cleaning that up whenever we can. And there's parts of the property where we feel it's pretty safe for the kids to go barefoot.
Right.
There's places where it isn't because we just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Well, it's like, I mean, like you go to the beach. It's like, do you let them run? They might get stuck with a needle. They might like. There's
Yeah.
some nasty places that like it just kills me. Like you'd think like, oh yeah, I'm out in the middle of the wilderness. It's nope. There's a tire. Why is there a
Right.
tire there?
Yep. I've seen it for sure. What's another inheritable thing that
Well, I mean, like we have the quintessential inheritance, money. I mean,
Mhm.
we can pass down money from generation to generation. I mean, like yeah, any kind of asset, really. But I mean, physical, like actual. Here's cash.
Yeah.
Um, how awesome is that to be able to set up your kids and go, hey, college is taken care of, or hey, your house is taken care of, or hey, you've got cars, whatever. Here's cash, straight up, whatever it is
Yeah.
you need, because I don't know what you're gonna need in 50 years, so I can just leave you this, blank check.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, you can teach your kids wisdom with money. So
Yeah, like how to actually
invest.
use it, and not to allow it to use you, because
Yep.
from the, and you'd mentioned it before, we're a consumeristic culture, and that inherently is just poor money management and poor understanding of money, what it is, because it's just a fiat. It's an in between state of our time and our
Mhm.
abilities. um so like, why would I fritter that away? Why would I use this blithely and just let, nah, it doesn't matter, it's only $5. Like, no, that's my time.
Mhm.
It's not worth the 15 minutes or whatever your rate is. It's not worth it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, Vic says he's
Ah,
late.
a big
Pass down morals, work, and other ethics. Yeah, I love that.
amen.
We're going to hit on that in a little bit here. So,
Yes.
absolutely, you're right on the money there, Vic. Um, yeah, I think so. Money, understanding how money works, understanding
Yeah.
what our actual, fractional reserve currency is, ways, strategies to get ahead with that, strategies to invest in real assets, things like that.
Yeah.
Because I wrap up that in a combination of wisdom and money.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's
Well, yeah.
just like, go ahead.
Well, that's what I was talking with Will. Actually, that's what started our whole conversation was talking about being your own bank and
Mhm.
like how what an amazing thing. But it takes several generations to get to that point. So like us, our generation now, this is where we start. This is our line in the sand. We say no, no more. So we're going to acquire assets that are that we can borrow against, that our kids can borrow against. We're going to start accumulating these things. This is the tree that we don't get to necessarily sit under. You had that quote in there somewhere. And it has to be that way. We have to at some point just draw the line and say no, no farther. This goes no further.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So the quote you're referencing is I looked it up because it constantly gets referred to as like an ancient Greek quote, and it's not.
That's
It's
funny.
from a book from 1951, um, The Life We Prize, and by, let's see, Elliot Trueblood. Anyways, what he said is a man has made at least a start on discovering the meaning of human life when he plants shade trees under which he knows he will never sit.
Yeah.
Now, there's other phrasings of that I actually like a little bit better,
Yeah, sure.
but that was the origin of it, and I think it's beautifully put. To think, I'm planting this tree, and I know I'm never, I'm an old at some point when I'm an old man, I'm
Mhm.
still going to be planting trees,
Right.
and my great grandkids might end up, sitting under those trees or raising their pigs under those trees to, get essentially free, amazing meat.
Yeah, right.
Um, so I I care about that, but I may never um, see the benefit personally,
Right.
and I think that's a marking of a truly moral person.
Yes. Yeah. That selflessness that is like, no, this isn't about me. This is about
Mhm.
me taking care of posterity. And posterity in and of itself is something that we don't even really use the term anymore in posterity. Like it's lost meaning seemingly in most of our culture, because everything is so temporary. I mean, gosh, you get your phone, you understand your phone's not going to last you more than a couple of years. It's just not. You get a car, it's not going to last you more than what, maybe 10 years now, like maybe, like
Yeah, your
you know,
electronics are going to start failing, and
yeah.
then what do you
I mean,
do?
like, so everything, because everything is you know temporary, we don't think in those terms. I don't buy things thinking, oh, like this knife. I don't buy things thinking like, oh yeah, I'll have this for the remainder of my life and be able to hand it down to my kids and or grandkids. Like, is that a thing? Like, is that? I mean, like, but we've lost that
Mhm.
posterity mindset, and because we've lost that posterity mindset, I don't think value our own wisdom. So
Right.
it's like, do I, like this next generation, there's so much, more tech savvy. So like, I don't have anything to contribute to the conversation. Like, no, the technology is undergirded by wisdom of the former generations. If it doesn't have that undergirding, it falls apart really,
Mhm.
really, really badly, really, really, really fast.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, and I think so much of our technology is moving completely devoid of that wisdom.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
The Foxfire series,
Yeah.
you've talked about it quite a bit before.
Heck
You
yeah.
actually have the physical ones.
I do.
I don't. um, but that was a really cool project that just kind of came about naturally, where these
Mhm.
high school students started going out and taking stories of local old timers before they passed and before those ways were erased.
Right.
Which is just another example of that's that's a younger generation recognizing wisdom for what it was,
Yes.
having wisdom of their own,
Yes.
and pursuing it. And that, I mean, how many proverbs can you quote that talk about pursuing wisdom?
Right. Like a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, and so like the Foxfire books are that.
Mhm.
It's and as you pursue wisdom, you gain wisdom beyond just the pursuit or just the things that you hear
Yes.
in the pursuit itself. So the other thing I want to say um, about money
Yeah.
is I love Buckminster Fuller's quote
Yes.
on wealth, and he puts it this way: wealth is the number of days forward that one can sustain without outside input. I believe he hid that gem in, what was it? The patent
The
for the
patent for,
geodesic dome.
yeah, that's what I think it was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude is
But
hysterical.
I think it's a great definition. Obviously, wealth is different than money, and
But they
that
are
shows the
really,
difference.
really intrinsically connected. Especially the mindsets that kind of control and or should undergird all of that. Because if you have if you have a good understanding of money, you're going to have more success and more wealth. Whether it's monetarily or whatever it may be, land or maybe, whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So this one people might not think of, but it's one of the actually really important ones to me, which is favor.
Yeah.
Um, there's another term for it, which is political or social capital.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But this was like really true and really understood in ancient cultures.
Very. And very highly regarded. Having favor and well, we see it similarly in family pride, basically,
Mhm.
is your family was in good standing with the community, your family was well thought of, in ancient China, and in a lot of the ancient medievals, families, they lived and died on their families, their nobility lived and died on it. Everything, their position in the community was based off of that favor.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you look at the parable of the prodigal son,
Yeah.
right? Like the father comes running with a ring, saying like he's mine, a
Yeah.
robe
Yeah.
to cover the shame. But um, the that culture would have likely stoned that son to death had the father not made it there first,
Sure.
because he had so dishonored his family and the favor that his family had earned. Um, so that's how much this social, the favor that we gather actually means, and it means a lot less in our current situation,
Yeah.
our current environment. But that's because we're doing the spinning our wheels for the next, the house that's only going to last for 20 years anyways,
Right. Yeah.
and I don't care because I'm going to sell it in 5.
Right. Yeah. But I must have a 30-year mortgage to do it.
Right, or a 50
Well,
year
50.
mortgage.
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah, as a home inspector, it's considered an acceptable practice, but particle board rim joists are a thing now.
No.
Yeah, or I should say OSB rim joists. I'll be a little more, but
Okay. Slightly better, but not barely. I'm like, that's, oh,
combine
no.
OSB rim joists with OSB eye joists
Sure. Right.
and a little bit of water leaking in behind that vinyl siding over
You're
time.
done.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
how
man.
does this like put a few extra bucks into a 2x12? It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Seriously.
Right?
Yes.
The treated 2x12 will save so much down the line, but yeah, anyways,
They don't
it's
build them like they
acceptable.
used to.
No, it's not considered a deficiency. It seems like it should be, but
It
it's
should be.
not.
Yes. Well,
Um,
again, talking to Will today, all of the codes, it's bare minimum. Like it is like it's like okay, this is what we consider the absolute bare minimum for otherwise it's substandard. And like I remember wiring stuff with my dad. He was notorious, like everybody in the community that knew him, he overwired everything. He's
Mhm.
like, "Well, yeah, because people actually are gonna, live in the house and use appliances and plug things into receptacles in the wall. Like, this is
Right.
actually where people live." And so he would wire it accordingly, and he would
Mhm.
overwire it accordingly, and he wouldn't like cut corners. And I physically mean like when we pulled the Romex, he didn't just zig, diagonally across the ceiling. It followed around. He's like, "Yeah, because that way, if in the future you need to be able to move that receptacle or that switch, you've got extra up in the attic. You just have to
Right.
pop those, staples out and you're good." It's like, "Oh." He's like, "It doesn't cost me much." I mean, like, we're talking a couple cents at the time. Now it'd be like dollars and, copper, but
Right.
didn't cost him much more. And he's like, "But I give them a whole lot of flexibility of where they want to put things."
Yeah. Well, and on the same line, you know, we use um, 14 gauge wire a lot of time. Like people are wiring receptacles with 14 gauge wire.
Yeah, right.
And most of our listeners are gonna our viewers are gonna know, what
Yeah, yeah.
14 gauge wire means, but it means a smaller wire than what you would typically wire it with because it's acceptable. It passes
Right.
code.
Yep.
Um, but now you're limited to 15 amps over
Yep.
that circuit, and you can draw that at one receptacle. So what if you're plugging things into two receptacles?
Pop.
Yeah, and it's just not a good idea.
Nope.
Um, so
And there's no
yeah,
reason
it's
for it. I mean, like, just run 12 and be done with it,
mhm.
Like,
Well, and do things like you're going to be the next guy back in there.
oh yeah, I mean, okay, so I remember hearing a story, I wanna say it was my pastor, um, about a guy who hired his future son-in-law to wire the house, and then at the end of the job, he gives the house to the son-in-law, and the son-in-law has this horrible realization of all of the corners that he cut.
Right.
And it's like, build it like you're building it for yourself. Build it like you're building it for your mom or your kids. Like, build it well, do well. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all I might. Like, it's like there's no reason to hold back. This is going to benefit the world as a whole, and this is favor. This is how we develop favor in the community, is be known as the guy who doesn't cut the corners, right?
Right. And sometimes you won't get hired because of that,
Yeah,
and that's okay.
absolutely.
It means
Yeah.
you're avoiding the people who are going to cause you problems in the
You don't
future.
want those. Yeah, you don't want to be hired by those people anyway. So that's good.
Yep. Yeah, it's not too often, but occasionally I'll get pushback on my price, and I'm like,
Yeah, it is
"Mm,
what it is.
it's
Either
my
you can or not.
price.
Yeah.
I'm not the lowest person. You can find somebody lower, and
And get what you pay for.
maybe they'll do as good a job, maybe not. You don't
Yeah.
know."
Yeah, maybe there's somebody who's just cutting their teeth and they wanna get out there, so they're willing to take, yeah, fine, awesome, that's great. But that's not you, and that's okay. It
Yep.
needs to be okay.
Yeah, and it has saved me from so much headache. The
Sure.
couple of times where I've been like, "Well, I can negotiate," always
Nope.
comes back to bite me.
Yep.
It's
Just
like
don't.
that's the person you don't want as your client or whatever. So,
Nope.
um, for all of you who want to be good clients out there,
Right.
uh, oh, something I missed when we were kind of talking over land
Yeah.
is another Wendell Berry quote because I
Mm.
love. He's just a really interesting dude.
Mhm.
But he wrote so much about like outdoors and land and nature and things. And one of the things he said is attachment to the landscape rooted in history binds generations together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
that
been
comes,
that's been one of the things that I've learned or started to learn since I've been out here is that mindset, because there's so much history and there's so many people who appreciate and value that history and are so physically tied to the earth here.
mhm. Yeah. And, my impact on the soil today literally has the potential to bind generations down down the line,
Yeah.
children I will never meet.
Yeah.
Ancestors who I will never meet physically in this realm. Now they could benefit from it, or I could just move on and be done with this property after
Yeah.
being
Right.
on it for a couple of years, because bigger and better.
Always bigger and better.
So, yeah, what's the next thing you would say is could be inherited or passed down?
Resources. I mean, we have more resources at our disposal in this time in the existence of Earth, and yet I we don't utilize them. We squander them when we have them. Um, we don't value them. There are so many. I mean, just talking about the physical resources. I mean, just wood and water and all of the but I mean, like, knowledge, education, technology, all of these resources, and the value of those resources. I can't speak high enough. I mean, like, just okay, so I homeschool my kids. I can't tell you how many times a day the conversation circles around the idea of you have at your disposal more information than has ever been in any one person's hand ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, value this, use it, learn as much as you can from it. We go over the wisdom of how to, but it's like you have so much here. Like, use your resources.
Yep. Yeah. I think when I think, permaculture lens on things,
Yes.
resources should be tied together.
Oh yeah.
And the more we can tie those resources and recognize them as resources, I mean, realistically, if we're thinking about things right, everything that is a waste stream that we call waste
Right.
should be a resource.
Yes.
So if there's waste, it means we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's a system output, good or bad. If it's bad, then that just means it's not going somewhere where it's good.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, I could have so much chicken manure that it smells, and when it runs off, it gets into the stream, and then it pollutes the Caney Fork, and then it pollutes the, like it just makes its way down the Mississippi and kills off some coral reefs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Or that can be a resource, and a valuable resource if thought about, set up, and turned around in the right way. And just about anything can be that way. And I'm not perfect. There's a trailer in my yard that's got trash bags in it that go to the dump every couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's just, it's about reducing that over time and recognizing things that are resources, and switching our mindset from a waste mentality to a, how could I do that in a way that creates a beneficial resource that cycles it back into the system?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, you're right. It's all those micro adjustments. It's like, okay, I'm going to not do this one thing. I'm not going to go to that one restaurant anymore. Or I'm not going to whatever. And making those just a little bit. It hurts just for a little bit, but then then you kind of get used to it, and then it's just life, and then you can make another little adjustment and go on with life. And yeah, when we see those as resources, and especially when we start, like you said, function stacking them, and seeing this intricate web of how things truly can be connected. We've gotten really good at segmenting our minds and our physical world around us. Like, no, that is where we do this thing. Now that is where we do that thing, and those two things have nothing to do with each other, except that they really functionally should be directly connected. Like,
Yep.
so
yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many ways that we can tie these things together and make each resource more valuable through that. But recognizing it as a resource first is important. And we talked about planting trees. Here's an example of how resources, money, everything can actually tie together. What if I plant walnut trees, black walnut trees?
Okay.
And I'm planting them now, and I plant them a little closer than they should be.
Okay.
And we're looking 90 to 100 years down the road. It's my great great grandchildren.
Sure.
They've got the property, and they're like, those trees are too close. But they're planted kind of close, so they grew really nice and straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Now you've got a walnut tree. I mean, some of those big, good walnut trees that are straight, it's like $30,000 worth of tree.
Yes. Yes.
And so now maybe I've just gifted unknowingly
Right.
my great great grandchild $30,000 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
In the future,
Right.
worth of amazing timber that he could think of as a waste because it's in the way and it's too tight together,
Right.
or he could think of it as a resource and treat it as such.
Mm-hmm. Like I could go in and cut out every other tree and they would still be perfectly fine. And I can, yeah. And I can make, 30 grand on each one. I had a friend, he had a cabinetry shop back in Chico, and he had 3, I want to say they were black walnuts out in the front yard. And he called those, his insurance policy, because those suckers were, I mean, like I couldn't even begin to reach around half of one of these trees. They were so
Wow.
massive. And that was exactly what he had planned. He's like, yeah, I left those things to grow because I knew that they were going to be incredibly valuable someday.
Yeah. No, I think it's all about how you look at things. And if I'm planting out a pasture to be civil pasture today,
Right.
maybe I plant trees in that way where they make sense for the next 50 years, but eventually needs to be thinned out. And now it becomes a resource for the next generation.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So I think we kind of hit on the next one a little bit but knowledge is one of the things that I think is so valuable to pass on.
I'm still angry about the burning of the Library at Alexandria. So,
Yeah, that's interesting because, okay, go back to resources for a minute.
Okay.
With knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of it is complete garbage and untrue, but there's a lot of videos that people are putting out on these old books they're finding.
Okay.
Like something from the 17 or 1800s.
Sure.
Where it might be a real book, but the information also might be inaccurate, right?
Yes.
Kind of like some of the lore around Tesla or whatever else.
Right.
But there's also some really fascinating, interesting takes in these old books. And so these old resources also have this knowledge that I think it's at least worth considering.
Sure.
Might not be worth taking in,
right,
fully, but it's worth considering and going, like,
well, I mean,
how that was thought of back then.
Exactly. And that was exactly my point. It was, because we do the same thing biblically. We go back to that time period so that we can understand what would that have meant to those people who received that letter from Paul at that time in that place. Because it's really important to, when you're reading about things, to understand the culture and what the norms were and what the, taboos were, and knowing all of these things. That's, basic hermeneutics is going to that time, place, people, purpose of the text, and to be able to understand that text. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And there's so much knowledge that we can pass down, and teaching our kids to be lovers of wisdom, lovers of real knowledge, not, I know the right answers.
Right. Well, and that was like the most important thing in my mind, that I was taught and I'm trying to instill in my kids is loving learning. I love the process of, it's frustrating sometimes, but I still do enjoy the, diving down those rabbit holes. And because I do, it's really enabled me throughout all of my different careers, and to be able to become very useful to the people around me, to be very, fairly successful in a lot of different regards, because I enjoy that, and so I would delve down these rabbit holes. I even had, like, I remember back when I was in high school, I had people coming to me asking like, "Hey, I can't figure out how to research this." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let's go to the library." It was like my favorite place. Let's go to the library and go
Yeah.
through Rolodex and,
Yeah, I got it was funny. So in high school, I got kind of teased, but it was in jest, all in fun. But it was Steva's random fact of the day.
That's awesome.
To be some, I'd say something and they'd be like, that is completely useless. How do you know that? Random fact of the day.
Because 6 years ago, I deep dived on this one thing for 2 weeks. I knew everything about it, and then it went, yeah,
Yep.
and it just popped back in.
Right.
Because you said that one thing, and that led to this thing, and that
I started mapping that probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Uh-oh.
Because I'd be like, I'd get to a thought in my mind and I'd be like, where did this thought come from?
Right.
And so I'd map it backwards until I was like, oh, there's the trigger point.
You're right. Yeah.
It's always like 10, 15 steps before you get back to like,
oh yes.
That has nothing to do with what I'm thinking about, but
Nope.
I got there somehow.
Yep.
But I realized I was doing that in conversations where somebody would ask me something and I'd answer with something totally different. I'm like,
And they're like, wait, what? I promise you, it is actually connected in my head. I can walk you through it if you want me to, but
you don't want me to.
you don't want me to. I have that conversation with my wife a lot.
What are you thinking?
Do you really want to know?
How long do you have?
Yes.
Or nothing. It's one or the other.
Yeah, well, there's always that. Yeah. The average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow.
African or European?
That's right. Oh, good. Yes. Thank you.
All right. So the next bullet point I had is ethics. And I want to read Psalm 112, 1-2.
Yeah.
It goes, blessed is the man that fears the Lord. His seed shall be mighty upon the earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed.
Yeah. There's so many, especially in the Psalms, there are so many. I mean, going from the very beginning, Psalm 1, blessed is the man who stands not in the counsel of the ungodly. And, like we need to really take responsibility for what time we have on this earth, what we do with it, because we need to not stand in the counsel of the ungodly, and we need to not sit in the seat of the wicked and scornful, and so that we can then be a blessing to the generations to come and help to equip them and to edify them and build them up into being a better generation than we are. Give them every opportunity that we didn't have to
Yeah. I mean, we're told in Esther, for such a time as this.
Right.
And the closer we get to the end, which, depends on your particular eschatology and such, but
we're a day closer than we ever have been. I mean,
exactly. Yep. And I think our children are more built for it than we are. And if they have children, they'll be more built for it than they were.
Yeah.
And it's important to be that blessing, that upright person that becomes the blessing that pours out on the next generation,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, gosh, go back to during any of the major blights, any of the, Black Death or whatever. It was the church. It was the Christians who went in and like, yeah, I don't care if I die. I'm going to go in and help them. They were the blessing to the world. That's kind of our role, because we realize we're sojourners. This isn't our world. This isn't our life. So why am I holding back? Like, what am I holding this back for? Like, what's the purpose in that?
Here's a big gripe, and I'm speaking to the American church specifically, but the American church did the exact opposite for COVID.
Yeah.
They shut down, they went and hid, they didn't help anybody. It's a sad state, but it's, that's my gripe for tonight.
Sure.
So yeah, anyways, ethics. One of the things I try to teach my kids, because I hate the concept of, well, is it legal?
Oh,
Right.
is that really the important question?
Right.
No,
Like,
it's not.
so the two questions, and they're old enough. My oldest is old enough now to kind of grasp the actual questions, but I'll ask in other ways. So instead of is it legal or should you do it, it's is it moral?
Right.
So there's a lot wrapped up in is it moral?
Oh, yeah.
And then the second question is what's the consequence?
Yeah.
And consequence can be good or bad.
Yes.
So there's a lot wrapped up in that question.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because there's a lot of laws that are bad laws, and there's a
immoral
lot of
laws.
things yes, and there's a lot of things, um, that are bad that aren't against the law.
Mhm. Exactly.
So, it being a law does not define the goodness in either direction,
Yep.
or badness as you wanna yeah.
Well, and it, I have fault with MLK Jr., but
Sure.
he had an interesting take, which was it's the obligation of moral men to disobey immoral laws.
Yes. George Washington would have completely agreed.
Yeah. So, um, and I think people like to bring up like Romans 13 and
Oh,
be like,
yeah,
well,
sure.
you should obey it. Well, there's a lot of caveats to that, and I think there's some misunderstood context as well.
Yes.
But if it's immoral, don't obey it.
Yeah.
Like that's just common sense, I
Nope.
guess.
I stand before God,
Right.
not my government. Now,
Yep.
if they align with him, we're good.
Mhm.
No problems. If
Exactly.
they don't, then you're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do. Like I whatever. I do what you must.
Um, okay. So my next bullet point is gratitude.
I thought that was an interesting one. I like that.
Yeah.
Because it is something like we probably suck at it
Mhm.
being really grateful to to the former generations, and if our next generation doesn't see that gratitude, they're not going to even know how to be grateful to us.
Yeah.
um so yeah.
And it's easy to complain over the minutia
Oh yeah. Oh gosh,
or,
yes.
or even big things
Yeah.
and miss the forest for the trees. Miss the blessing of, maybe my grandparents have a more traditional take on X, Y, or Z, or,
Yeah.
you know, maybe my grandparents smoked and ate tons of margarine,
Yes. Right.
but they could also have some wisdom, you know?
Yes.
Um, so I think being grateful for what our previous generation brings to the
Yeah.
table and being able to acknowledge that
Yeah.
is
Don't
going to help our
you don't
children.
throw the baby out with the bathwater just because, like, maybe they did the best they could with what they had to work with the
Mhm.
knowledge that they had, the assets that they had. They did their best, and that's not nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing on a daily.
Right. Well,
Like,
and I'm really good at complaining and being sarcastic,
sure.
right? I can tell you all the things that are wrong with the world, and what I think should be done to fix them, but it
Right.
um, doesn't mean I shouldn't work in humility and gratitude
Yeah.
for those who truly have tried to do what's right.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
mean, like, I was, so I do, my our music team at church. We practice on Monday nights, and we're praying afterwards, and it was just funny because I was like, how cool is it? Like, I get to hang out with a bunch of musicians and kind of just rock out a couple times a week. Like, most musicians don't get to do that, but here we
right.
have a whole bunch of people in churches that do this on the weekly basis. Like, that's really cool. Like, thank you, God. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could, instead be, this is drudgery and I don't have time
Yeah,
for this. And I've,
right. It's another thing, just another thing.
yep. Or, that person just keeps missing their notes and
Right.
their riff is terrible or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
So yeah,
no.
gratitude is to me it's understanding the value, like true value of things
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, it's so easy. I can get on TikTok and see a million different people complaining about a million different things
Yep.
with reasonable reason to be
Yeah.
pissed off about it.
Yes.
Um, but it doesn't mean that I should be in it. It also feels cooler and more edgy to be like, yeah, this stuff sucks. This is stupid.
Right.
I hate this thing, or how could somebody ever think this was a good idea? Or
Yeah. These are the reasons why you should be angry about. Yes.
and it's a lot easier to do.
It
It's
is.
honestly way easier to find things to complain about.
Practicing gratitude is very, very difficult, but very, very important.
Yeah.
Especially, in the Christian life. Um, just saying thank you. I mean, yeah. That's I
Yeah.
mean, every evening when we pray over a meal, our supper, I'll usually start, and then everybody goes around the table and prays for something that they're thankful for from that day. With my daughter, it's usually books. And my son, it's usually, like playing outside on a skateboard or something. But it instills that idea of just continuously being grateful and looking at life through that lens of being grateful and thankful for what do we have. I mean, like, gosh, we live in America. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We live in America in 2026. Like, it's pretty awesome. Like, yeah, I understand 2026 has kind of gotten off to a rough start, but even still, America with a rough couple months is still so much better than most of the rest of the world has ever been ever.
Right.
I mean, how long ago did they start having hot water heaters in a house? Like,
Not that long ago.
my grandparents, like that was a thing. Like, I mean, we're just used to it. We're like, oh yeah, having a hot shower. That didn't used to be a thing
hmm
not that long ago.
Yeah. Running water. I have a friend who is my age who grew up in, I think it is southeastern Tennessee,
Oh,
who
okay.
had a dirt floor and no running water
Yes.
growing up.
Yeah.
Like, it was still a thing until, I mean, I don't know anybody now, but I'm sure there's a couple of, people way out in the boonies that,
Agreed. Yes.
yeah. So tons to be grateful for.
Oh,
There's a I don't know who it was, but a guy who has a ritual kind of thing with his kids where he says, like, at night he asks two questions, and
Hmm.
it's one, what was something kind that somebody did for you today?
Okay.
And two, what was something kind you did for someone else today?
Nice.
And what it does is it basically forces the kids to actually think through, and they know that question is coming at the end of the day.
Sure. So throughout
So
the day, they're looking for those things.
they're looking for gratitude, something to be grateful and thankful for,
Yeah.
and they're looking for a way to be a blessing to somebody else.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So simple.
Well, my last point here on things that we can pass down, things that we can inherit, is truth.
Yeah.
Now, that might sound a lot like knowledge and wisdom, but it's not.
No. No. Truth is truth. Our understanding of things, comes and goes. That's our knowledge. But the truth is truth, no matter what our opinion of it is or our understanding of its existence. So they can't be connected. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, we've talked a bit about Psalms and Proverbs today,
Yeah.
and there's so much truth wrapped up in each of those. Um, this isn't quite exactly related to truth. Well, it's a truth. And so there's, it's just something I kind of want to reiterate is Proverbs 13:2, or sorry, no, I lost my place on the page, the quote that I had.
Oh.
Oh, well, so the rest of Proverbs 13:22. So we kind of put the first part of it in a, in the subtitle, which is a
Yeah.
good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. But the other side of that is it says, and the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the just.
Hmm.
Because we think a lot about land and money and water and
Right.
all these things we've talked about as being something that we can hand down.
Yeah.
But the truth is that whether we see it in this life or not, that teaching our children to love truth, seek justice,
Right.
in its proper and upright form, that all this wealth that people have been getting through ill-gotten gains,
Yeah. Right.
there's a repayment, that wealth is laid up for the just. And that might mean in this life, it might literally mean,
In the
some
next.
wicked person's wealth is gonna be poured out on us in some way in a moment of need, or it could mean it's in the next. But either way, we're teaching our children truths like this
Yeah.
so that they can live in an ethical, moral way with wisdom and knowledge and truth and love and gratitude on their side, as opposed to worrying about which shoes they're getting, if they
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
the right
Right.
brand name of shoes. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, like that's the parable of the talents, right? I mean,
mhm,
there was the 5, 3, and one, and in the guy who got one talent, he buries it, and on the days master comes, he unburies it. He says, "I know that you're an evil man who wants more than he asks or gives, and so I buried your talent. Here it's back, you evil, wicked," and gives it to the one who had 5 and who had made it into 10. Yeah, we need to invest all that we have been given, because all of us have been given, I realize, talent, and that is a monetary thing, but we've all been given talents. We've all been given opportunities, and we need to make the most of those opportunities to be able to hand down to our children through our education, through our wisdom, through, land, through all of these things that we've, outlined all of them, because at the end of the day, what else do we have?
mhm,
That is what we have. That is, we're giving our progeny, like, whatever it is we have to give. That's their inheritance. So what is it that you're building to give
mhm.
to your kids?
Yep, valid point. And they see and copy, and whether there's some supernatural handing down of various things that we do, and or whether it's just natural, they pick up on it and they
Yeah.
do it and they learn it. And it might even be their gut biome learns the foods that we
Yeah, right.
learns to like the foods that we liked. And how are we making those little sacrifices, those little adjustments for the generation after the generation after the generation that we can't even quite imagine because it's just a little too far out.
Right.
Um, so, you got any final thoughts? Any things that you think I missed on my bullet points here?
No, I think that was a very good list.
Well, I think Megan may have suggested something along this line.
Mm.
I think I threw a curveball into her idea. We were sitting around last night, and I was like, haven't come up with a topic. I should have come up with a topic 2 days ago. You got
Oh,
any ideas?
yeah, yeah.
And she said something, and I was like, I'll throw that out the window and do my own. But it was something along this line. And
Nice.
that is not wisdom, for anybody watching and wondering.
Right.
That is just how my brain works. So, um, anyways, yeah, I think that wraps it. But I hope that people have gotten a good concept for this idea of multi-generational
Yeah.
thinking towards, what are my children. They may not remember me, they may not know my name. I don't
Yeah.
really care. But how did my actions influence their trajectory?
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
those are my thoughts.
That's great. All righty. Well, you want to tell everybody about where they can find you?
Sure. Yeah. You can find me at thehomesteadconsultant.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's likely my channel, but if you look up the Homestead Consultant on YouTube, I also do TikTok. Mostly, I claim I'm a crack dealer. I don't use my own product, right? Because I don't use TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but I do post content there, hopefully to get people to come and find my website and actually maybe meet up, connect with me. Before people like jump off, because this is when people tend to do that. Oh, there went several viewers. This Saturday at 9 a.m. So it's gonna be the 14th at 9 a.m. in Hartsville, Tennessee. I am doing a free workshop at a demonstration site that I've been working on for years. So if people want to come to that, it's free. You can find information on my Facebook. It's my personal Facebook page. So Ryan Steva. You can find where I've posted that we'll be doing that this Saturday. I would love to have people come out, meet me, meet other awesome people in the area. Again, that's Hartsville, Tennessee on this Saturday, the 14th at 9 a.m. And we're going to be learning about small scale solar. So all the way from direct solar, like a charger that you plug a phone into, like you can get at your shop, all the way up to like small cabin type solar and all the considerations for each. So
nice.
Usually a paid class, and I'm doing it for free for people. So
right on. Super awesome. Yes.
How about you? Where can people find your stuff?
All right. So I'm Jared. So I own Resilient Living. If you're in the Middle Tennessee area, I'm halfway between Sparta and Spencer, right on 111 corner Hodges Ferry Road, little silver gray building right on the side. It doesn't look like it's very big. It's because it's not, but I like to think it's bigger on the inside than the outside. So it's my little TARDIS. So we sell preparedness equipment, really, books, freeze-dried foods, knives, a lot of the gear that you see behind me. This is all stuff that I have. I now have my firearms license, so gun sales will be happening here shortly, along with used guns and consignments. Yeah, so you can come by the shop, and you can check us out on at resilientliving.com. That's livin.com. For now, when I switch over to the new point of sale system, that kind of is going to influx. So I'm not sure how the website's going to work, but just we'll roll with it.
Forward the URL.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So yeah, so that's me. That's you. That's us. That's what we do.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in today, and hopefully that was enlightening and interesting.
Yeah. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things, push the buttons, and catch us next Tuesday, 7:00, and we'll talk about something different. So
yeah, don't know yet, but you'll come up with something, I'm sure.
That's right. All right. See you guys.
Good night, everybody.